Kevin Hunter with Amy Nelson here on the Business Forum Show, and we're talking to Scott Favilla from Computer Rangers. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so before the show started, you were talking about this little device that you can hook up to anything that will vibrate, and you can make sound with it. So
Correct.
we were mentioning about you could go fishing with your cooler and turn it into a sound system at the same time.
Exactly. It's called the Rocket Anywhere.
Okay.
It basically works off vibrations. So basically, you can simply attach the device, and it's up there to your smartphone or iPod, Android, anything basically plays your music out of it. And basically run it through the device, you basically turn it on and simply attach it to like a styrofoam cooler I have here in front of me. And basically all you basically do then is turn it on, pick your favorite mix out of your iPad or iPod or iTunes, whatever on there, and simply hit play.
Okay, now pop it off the cooler real quick while it's playing so people can hear the difference.
No sound at all. Back on the cooler.
Isn't that cool?
That is very cool.
Pretty neat little device, and it's portable. It's portable. It charges up by USB for a couple hours, and you get 4 to 5 hours out of play out of it.
Now, how long has that been on the market?
A couple years.
A couple years.
Yep, they're based. Started out of a company in California. And they actually were on the show Shark Tank. They said they're looking for sponsors. It's on there, so that was actually pretty cool to see that the device is actually you've seen it on real TV.
Right.
You know what the devices can do, and there are a bunch of different colors that come with it. And you can actually, it's really neat. You can actually daisy chain them together. So you can put two together, and then you can get bigger boom out of a cooler.
Wow.
The reason I asked the question is I was at invited to Microsoft now some time ago, and we saw all these high-tech things they were working on. And one of them was this box. They actually set it on. They made the whole desk come to life. And then the guy took it and put it on the wall, so like the drywall was doing the same thing. And very cool. All right, so as far as the Computer Rangers company, what specifically do you do, Scott?
Computer Rangers, basically, I'm the owner-operator of it. I've had it since 2005. Basically, I've always been loving to be in technology. I've been in there about 30 years. Since I was basically in my mid-teens, I started messing around, taking apart computers, and wanted to be, into the technology. In 2005, I got out of the corporate world after being on help desk and IT management and team leads. I just want to be my own boss and sit there and see how it would roll. And it's been very successful since then. It's been a little tough here and there over the times with the economy, as everybody knows. But we're still here on there, and we do take care of small businesses in residential areas.
So how many times are you dealing with organizations that have an in-house IT guy? And when you mentioned that you were at doing help desk, but how many cases are you dealing with organizations that have an in-house IT guy and yet are having a number of computer problems and need somebody like you to help?
It is interesting to find out that the size organizations that they're out there, the bigger ones do more likely have a full-time staff on board of 5, 6, 10 guys, depending on how big the organization is. The smaller mom and pop shops, they may have somebody on board, but it may be just the person that is the most knowledgeable in the business. I'm like, oh yeah.
And that's what I was thinking of.
John comes in there, he basically, he takes care of the viruses or whatever that comes on there, but there's some things that we just cannot, he doesn't just not know what to do. So then they basically give us a call, we come on in there, basically take care of the issue, and then train that person too for future reference. Say, this is what's going on, what to do, what to look forward to, if it comes up again, and if something else pops up, give us a call. We'll be back to gladly take care of the issue.
Do you do the managed services contracts? Is that kind of what your service with the businesses relationships are?
Managed services, they're more of a bigger scale.
Okay.
Basically, like a lot of taking care of them remotely and everything, doing a lot more of their backups and everything. I can come in and set that up, but I don't do a lot of managed services on there. They may call me up for a quick, hey, I got a question. If I can't make it there, I can remote into them, and sometimes it's easier, and it's less expensive for the client for me to remote in versus driving out and having a full-time, full-hour wage, and so they get a break on the wage if I can remote in and take care of it that way.
Sure.
So what's your specific area of expertise? Because I realize that in the computer business, there's the networking side, there's the hardware side, and then even within each of those, there's people that specialize in given areas of hardware, people that specialize in given areas of networking. So what's really your wheelhouse?
Right, the breadth and depth of it is very vast in this field. On there, so I usually basically know about 7 or 8 breadths of area on there, and my main areas are basically hardware and software, and working with some networking, both wired and wireless. out there. So basically, if somebody has a break fix issue, their computer, basically they call blew up,
Right.
or their hard drive crashed out there, so there's they're panicky. I lost all my music or I lost all my pictures. That's the biggest thing because we're in the technology age now that there's no film anymore. It's all digital. And basically, we come in then to basically try and relieve that pain and their issues, and that's that they're by being able to get their data back, put it onto external media of some sort, or show them how to back it up themselves, also to the cloud.
So tell us about what makes you different and better than the big box stores like Best Buy.
One, basically, you don't have to press one for English.
Very good.
Get me right off the bat. You don't have to worry about answering or talking to Peggy at all. Basically, I've been doing this thing for 30 years. Work on different systems on there, always trying to stand on top of technology. I have 10 certifications from Microsoft, 3 from a company called CompTIA. They're a vendor-neutral certification company, so they're not specific to anybody. Basically, I'm ITIL certified with the Better Business Bureau. Basically, it goes to show that if you look at my rating, it's A+. So that people have had, maybe one complaint out there, but everything's been smooth sailing. And that's there. And we just are customer service driven. The way we want to be treated, the way we're going to treat our customers.
Good.
So if you're to describe a client that's ideal for you, given what your services are, how would you describe that person or that business?
The person basically is like on the residential side. That's that there could be a one person, or could be a family. A lot of that times happen with families. They have kids on there, and the kids get on there and they start to click any button there is, and he pops up the click.
Or pop off the keyboard, as my 2-year-old did to my husband's laptop.
Yep, keyword there. They put pour the soda onto it. Oh, I didn't spill it, and all of a sudden you tilt the keyboard and there's a whole bunch of Kool-Aid coming out of the deal. So basically anybody in that realm of in the middle age, unless they have kids on there, because we're working with viruses on there, and they like to take a lot of pictures and video. That's it. And we want to make sure that they're safe on there, and that's that they know how to back up their stuff, or if it does happen, how to get their data back for them.
Do you do laptop repairs by any chance?
You bet.
You do, because and a lot of people assume that because when you mentioned that, that's what made me think of it.
I think he may have gone to him.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Because there's a lot of people assume that once a laptop starts having problems, that it's kind of a dead horse, and the reason being is that when you talk about the big box stores and others out there, when you do bring a laptop to them, in many cases they're like, we don't want to touch that.
Or they tell you it will be gone for 2 weeks because they have to send it off, and it's going to be a minimum of $100 and something just to take it in. And then whatever happens, that's what's going to be even more.
That's the
story at least I got from my husband, which is why he went to, yes.
That's exactly true, because if you research it online and look at clients that have brought their PCs or laptops in, pushing the red button at the Staples store means
it's not easy.
It should mean stop, not easy, because you need to find somebody who actually has the capability of dealing with the problem. It's not that they're all bad, but go do some research online and you'll find an abundance. You mentioned that you had one issue, a small complaint that you resolved in clear sailing. Well,
correct.
The big box stores can't say that. There's tons of stuff online in terms of dissatisfied customers. In fact, one story that I recall reading about 6 months ago, this particular gentleman, he's been out of his PC, I think, for like 5 weeks at the time I read the story.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and eventually, and I won't say who the story is, but it's one of the big players. Eventually, they stopped returning his calls. Even I'm just blown away by that.
Yeah, it's sad because if you bring it in, you want these people to fix it, but they say, well, we have to send it back to the major manufacturer to do it, and you could be without a machine for 2, 3, 4 weeks. And I've had clients come to me after saying, am I going to be without this machine for a month? It's like, no, let's see what the issue is and see if we can get like a screen cracked on there. Sometimes they have to send it back because then it takes them a couple weeks to get out. I usually have them basically order the part for them. I'll tell them to bring it in when it's in, and then basically give me a couple hours with it to replace it, and then they're back in business.
I'm guessing a really common thing you do is virus cleanups on computers.
A lot of times, yes, on there.
So how long does it take you to get that done? If somebody calls and says, I need this tomorrow, is that something you can do?
Sometimes we can. That's that we like to take at least 4 to 6 hours to do it because we run multiple cleaners on it. We run scans, we run multiple cleaners and rootkit cleaners and virus scanners, all the different gamuts that these little buggers can get into because there are hundreds of thousands of these different variants of viruses. And basically we clean them through and basically scan through them, basically restart the machine, make sure it's running on there so we can make sure it's running operable while we're watching it for a couple hours. So when they get it back, they say, well, it's back. And then now we basically can say, here you go, we're confident you have it back. And I've yet to get any complaints back after I've given it back in their hands.
But what I'm hearing you describe is something that's on that 24, 48 hours, they have a PC back. Yes. So that's actually something you can use to your advantage, because when we're talking about the big box stores out there, that's not one of their unique selling propositions.
Correct.
Is a day or two, because it just doesn't happen. Kevin Hunter here with Amy Nelson on the Business Forum Show. We're talking to Scott Favilla from Computer Rangers. And you can find him on the web, computerrangers.net. Again, that website, computerrangers.net. And the contact number is 763-245-6042. Again, 763-245-6042. Thanks for coming on the show here today with us, Scott, and sharing your fishing cooler sound machine. We're going to have to get one of those.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Again, Kevin Hunter with Amy Nelson here on the Business Forum Show. Thanks for listening.